Hello everyone, today's video is all about ISAs. Now, I've recently done a video saying you should try and max out your ISA before the end of the tax year, which is all well and good, and yes, you should. However, the real savvy investors should try and max out their ISAs today, the 6th of April, the first day of the tax year. Everyone typically tends to leave it late, but actually, the best time to do it is right now, the very first day of the tax year. Why? Because you get the same tax relief regardless of when in the year you put the money in, but obviously if you've got a longer investment time, chances are you're going to make more money because typically the stock market does increase over time. Yes, it goes up and down, but over time it will tend to increase. So compared to someone who's put their ISA allowance in at the back end of the tax year compared with someone at the start of the tax year, the person who's doing it at the start of the tax year will have more in the pot because at any one time they've got more invested and there's more chance to get investment gains that much sooner. There was a study done by some academics, some university, and they said, look, if you were to take two individuals, putting in $3,000 each, say, into their ISA, so not even maxing it out, but just $3,000 each a year since ISAs started in 1999. One of them on the first day of the tax year, one of them on the last day of the tax year. Then right now, the person who was doing it on the first day of the tax year would have around about 135 grand in their ISA pot, and the person who was doing the $3,000 a year right at the end of the tax year, they would have about 130 grand in their pot if the money was invested in, say, a FTSE all-share tracker. So $5,000 difference, quite a lot, 130 versus 135. So that just, it's basically the investment gains to be had by getting the money in that much quicker. So ideally, you should try, if you can, max your ISA allowance today. Now, not a lot of people might be able to do that. So ideally, start doing something today. So drip feed the money in month on month. Rather than wait until the end of the tax year to get your allowance in, start doing it now. So you can do a little bit every month. And then, yes, if there's any cash to spare at the end of the tax year, top it up, which is what a lot of people do. But, you know, the basically the takeaway from this is start contributing towards this year's tax-free perks right now. Don't leave it till the end of the tax year. And it's the same for pensions. Pension contributions, again, often pension funds can be invested in exactly the same types of investments as ISAs. So you could have, invested on the stock market on both pensions and for ISAs. So the same theory goes. If you can, do your entire year's worth of tax pension contributions today on the 6th of April rather than leave it till later on in the year. £40,000 you can do for pension contributions, assuming you have no carry forward capacity from previous years. Done separate videos on that, but it's quite a lot of money. Now again, people, there's not that many people going to have a spare 40 grand knocking around to put into a pension today, as well as 20 grand to do an ISA. But there's no harm in starting any modest amounts, a bit every month, April, May, June, July, and so on. And then, if possible, a top up later on in the year. But ideally, the more you do, sooner the better. But don't put it off. Do think about getting some money away into both ISAs and pensions, starting, if you can, right now, day one of the tax year. It's all about that compound growth that starts as soon as the money goes in. So that's just an overview on some investments there. If you like this video, do subscribe there, and I will see you soon.